Hey, welcome to the stream. Welcome everybody, Sketch Fighters. Let's do a quick roll call. Jerry, are you here?
What's up, guys?
Courtney?
Hi.
And I guess Sean's not here yet. Let me move this. We're gonna try this new setup again.
I feel bad.
All right, I'm gonna do this.
Wait, there's a hot tub.
I'm gonna do this in a new way. I'm gonna set up one camera. I'm gonna set up 3 screens. So that way we can all see everybody at one time.
Okay, wait. Let me see if I can get on. I look like crap all of them.
Jerry, don't worry about it. Okay, look at this. All right. Oh, see now I got Jerry on the screen. Okay, that's Jerry.
Oh, I look super blurry.
Yeah. Jerry in the SVA tank top. Window, what is this? Window capture. Okay. Let me see, Discord. Okay. Let me find another one. Okay. Let's see if this makes any sense. What I'm doing is I'm creating, when Sean comes on, it's going to reset again, so I have to figure out. Courtney's going to draw today a little bit. I'm going to do a quick drawing. That way, all right, we got everybody kind of going on here. And then let me move my... Okay, then you can see my head. Very good. All right, and then when Sean shows up...
Somebody come on.
Hmm?
I don't know. I thought somebody came on. I'm hearing noises now that I have this on my computer.
Make sure you have the browser or whatever that you're looking at have the sound turned off on that.
Oh shit! I don't know how to do that.
Oh no, just on the actual Twitch website,
Yeah.
just mute that one, or else you get an echo.
So only listen to
Yeah.
the Discord.
Yeah. I stream the Twitch through my iPad anyways.
Okay, where's my other... Where's my other camera? Here it is. Okay. Oops.
Gary, what are you working on?
So Andy, Ken, myself, this writer Scott Wilson, and another artist Paul Harmon, we're making like our own little anthology book. Hopefully by the end of this year. So I'm just doing a drawing to help me sort visually what I'm doing, and I'm doing a food eating competition book.
Oh. Like a Nathan's hot dog thing?
Well, I'm gonna kind of pump it up on steroids, so it's gonna be a neo-Rome cyberpunk food eating competition book.
Neo-Rome? What does that mean? Like
yeah, because it's always it's always a white guy in Neo Tokyo or in like Neo Macau, right? Seriously.
Uh-huh.
So I'm doing the one Asian guy that's gonna be in Neo Rome.
But Rome as in Rome, Italy now?
Ancient Rome, yeah. I'm doing ancient Rome with neon signs.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
That's interesting.
And then what are they eating?
Not like hot dogs. They're gonna be eating like weird stuff, you know.
Like
I don't know. Think of more like what's that show called where they make you do weird stuff?
Fear Factor?
They'll be eating like cow eyeballs. Yeah, like cow eyeballs, stuff like that.
Okay.
That's tasty.
Actually, Bernard, I know you've been busy. That's why I haven't sent you it. But I was going to hopefully show you next week in LA what I have written up on it so far.
Okay.
But I don't want to like bug you while.
How many pages is the thing that you're doing?
So we're starting off. Like I said, there's gonna be 5 teams on it, or 5 whatever chapters, you know. And each story will be 12 to 14 pages long. But we're going to try to do like the first 2 or 3 books first before we, kickstart the first one, I should say.
Okay. Oh, so you guys are kickstarting.
So we're trying to be, like, we want it to be like a Shonen Jump type of thing.
So this is like the anthology that you said you're doing?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. All right, how do you guys like this setup here? Is this kind of interesting?
I hate it. I feel weird people being able to see me when I'm like
yeah, don't worry about
clearly
it.
I haven't gone outside today.
Again, I mean, Jerry, if you don't have to have the video on, it's just optional. Don't feel
I feel
obligated.
bad though when it's just a green screen and
no, then you know what I mean. When Sean comes on, it'll just be Courtney and me. So it's okay if you want to turn off your video. Don't be pressured to. And I know you gotta go soon, so.
Can you hear me?
Oh, there's Sean. Sean, you got your video on?
No. Why? Who wants to see me?
I thought you were drawing today. Aren't you drawing today, Sean?
Not live. I thought you are.
Me?
No, you are.
Look,
Sean is.
Jerry,
You are.
Jerry, look at the screen. It'll be that's me drawing, so don't worry about it.
Loading it. Oh,
Cool.
I like that.
I like it.
Nice.
Or how about this? This is better. Hubba.
I'll wear something. I'll wear something better next time. Hey.
Am I throwing off somebody's fantasy?
Yes,
I think you're,
yes.
you're creating new ones. Wait.
All
Get
right.
a little shoulder.
Ooh, oh, let me put my head back down there. There we go.
You know, I have the Yankees Mets game on right now, and it just made me remember. So I'm doing a project with the Mets again next month.
Oh, nice. Is
But
it at the
I'll be
at the
drawing
stadium?
with the athletes.
Oh,
What do you mean with them?
So I'll be at this like their biggest charity event of the year, and like there's like 200 guests, and I guess they can bid on like certain packages, and one of the packages is going to be like you can have Francisco Lindor and an artist draw you, and
Oh, wow.
I'll be that artist with like Francisco Lindor.
wait.
Or no,
So
you should move your mouth when Jerry talks, so it looks like you're talking.
okay. So wait, hold on. The athlete is also going to be drawing.
Yeah, so they asked me for a list of I think like 5 players that I want to draw with.
No. Shit, I have to reposition these screens again. Fuck. Damn. I moved the thing around. Now it's all out of position, out of alignment.
You're drawing.
I mean,
the-
I can go change and put on like normal clothes and shave and stuff.
No, man, Jerry, I
I
got
think they
you.
want to see
I got you
the
covered.
real life of a real artist.
I only went outside today to throw out the garbage.
Look, I haven't even been outside at
Okay.
all. All right.
I need to wash my hair. It's been too many days.
Let me see. Nico S. Blue, first one in chat today. Dr. Midnight. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're feeling better, Dr. Midnight. Did you ever get the book we kind of talked about? Mr. Joshua, good to see you. Beef Skeleton. Ooh. James Quo, thank you for the sub. James Quo, 28 months. Damn. That's over 2 years.
Oh, Dr. Midnight has COVID.
Oh.
Oh.
So was it COVID or this is different?
He's saying it's COVID. Oh man, I hope you're doing all right, dude. Drink a lot of water. I know everyone's telling you that.
What kind of COVID? Did you get Plaxavid? Get Plaxavid. Take Plaxavid. A to the J. Thank you for the resub. 34 months. Wow. We've been on for 3 years?
I think 4 years.
Shit.
No way.
Well, 150, 149 some odd episodes. Give or take. We've skipped a bunch. Shit, yeah, man. Like 3 years, over 3 years. Lurky Lurk is here. All the way from Canada. There's Lurky Lurk getting it. Hey, how's the air out there, Jerry?
It's okay now.
It's fine.
I was wondering how it is out in Canada.
Pixelholic is here tonight. Yojimbo. How's the air in Yojimbo down in Maryland? The DC area.
Oh, Dr. Midnight's mom has COVID as well.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
God.
I really hope she gets through it okay.
Dr. Midnight's in the Northeast area, I think.
There's a prominent creator that has COVID that's in bad shape. What's his name? I forgot who it was.
Prominent creator?
Well, he was at Valiant for a bit. He's, what's his name? Keith Giffen.
Keith Giffen has COVID?
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Shit.
I actually just scheduled my next booster shot. I think it's like my 5th or 6th shot. I can't remember.
You're getting booster shots?
Yeah, man.
I stopped doing
Going
that
back
a long
to
time
Taipei
ago.
this summer.
I stopped the booster shots after the first booster.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Aren't you afraid of like blood clots? Or is
What?
that
No.
No,
I
I
mean,
stopped getting
you
the booster because I would just get COVID.
yeah.
just keep getting
I
COVID.
didn't get COVID yet. I don't think.
What?
Yeah, I got sick one time, kind of like after a lot of the COVID different variants. I tested a bunch of times, like 4 times, and each time I even went to urgent care, and they tested me, and they're like, "It's not COVID." So, yeah, I don't think I got COVID.
I think nowadays, if you get COVID, it's really just like a cold now, right? Or, but some people, it still has some pretty bad adverse
Well, here,
effect.
Yeah,
yeah, Dr. Midnight's mother apparently is not having an easy time with it.
Yeah.
yeah, but for the flu, even the flu can kill people, if they're immunocompromised or elderly. So,
I still.
which
Mm.
I'm kind of both, not as elderly.
Absolutely.
Do you know, Dr. Midnight? Do you know how you got the
Mhm.
COVID? Like this weekend, I went to the mall to go to the Apple store to try to exchange my Apple AirPods because they're real staticky and shitty. But then when I got there, they're like, "Oh, you gotta wait like 3 hours," because I didn't make an appointment. So I was like, "Fuck that." And then I went to the food court to eat something, and man, there's like a lot of people out, and so I'm like, man, it's like pre-pandemic, but then nobody's wearing a mask, really, and I mean, I guess people are just expecting that they're not gonna get it or what.
Well, chances are no one else there has it.
I mean, they're still carriers without, actually having symptoms.
Yeah, and this weekend I went and coached some kids in basketball, and then and one of these, they have like these gyms, like it's like a warehouse, and there's like 8 or 10 different basketball courts inside. So there's all these games going on. There's 10 different games going on, with the
Mhm.
kids and the parents, and kids from the previous game and the waiting for the next game. So there's like a ton of people, and they're all the young kids, and I'm like, oh, someone in here definitely has something. And I feel like when I'm there, like I start like coughing up like a little phlegm or something. I don't know. Or is that just being?
That's all in your head.
Yeah.
But don't you wish you were getting your booster shot?
Oh, I don't know.
I had a bad reaction the last time. I felt like really sick. I was bedridden for like 2, 3 days after
Yeah.
that
I
booster
can't get
shot.
knocked out right now. I mean, it's such a tight deadline.
Yeah.
I don't know what to draw for Spider Gwen. You guys, Courtney, what are you
You're almost
drawing?
done.
I'm almost done. Well, now I gotta
Already
restart.
finished.
I'm gonna restart. What?
Um,
What is
I
this?
was gonna ask. I don't know the story of Spider Gwen.
Yeah.
Like, how did she become a spider person?
How is she even alive?
Well, what? How does she get the spider powers?
Did she get bit, or wasn't she Spider-Man's girlfriend? So was there some?
Yeah. Did she get it like contracted like a
Did they
venereal
not
disease,
just protect him, or?
like cooties?
We get to
I
see
think-
Courtney's Spider Gwen.
Oh, I didn't finish that yet.
It was on your story though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you already put it on Instagram.
Oh, really?
I didn't. It's not finished. I actually wanted to do something more interesting. I just kind of sketched that out and decided I'm still trying to figure out a good brush that will look good. I don't like brushes broke that great for me.
Hey, do you guys wanna? Let's do a poll. Let's do a quick poll. Oh, sorry.
Chip coat.
Cooties.
Golf Boy Sunday says he sees my bare skin.
You're as white as me.
Oh shit.
It's the light.
Uh-huh. That's what
He's
I
doing
say.
That's
He's trying to give Kreese a run for his money, showing his guns.
Wow, that's the
Ooh.
SVA. That's the SVA school pride
that's
right
right.
there.
but it
right?
says aloha or something like that.
Did I give that to you when you came to Hawaii, Jerry? I didn't give that to you.
No, you did not. I wish you did. I bought this.
Okay, I'm gonna
I'm
do.
sorry.
Hold on, I'm gonna do a quick poll, guys. You can vote in the chat. Use your channel poops if you want. When Fletch jumps on tonight at some point, good internet, bad internet.
Come on, that's not even a poll.
What?
That's so easy.
Good internet? Hey, you would never know. Good internet, bad internet.
Is he back? Is he back
I
in
think he's
LA?
back. He's back. So he should be jumping on tonight sometime.
Oh, you bad.
So how does Spider Gwen get her powers? Does somebody know? First time chat, Jackal. Oh, Jacked Intel. CDC dropped a mask recommendation in February. There is a new variant in
mean,
Ohio.
Oh, D. Rogers is here.
D. Rogers, Mr. World Traveler. What's Phoenix's? Is it Phoenix or Albuquerque? Zip
Phoenix.
area code. Golf Boy Sunday.
Oh,
Thank you
they're
for
all suffering from no heart syndrome because of Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant. I thought the Suns would have done a little bit better than they did. DYL Pickles here from San Diego. Spider Gwen was an alternate universe story, bitten by the spider instead of Peter Parker. Oh, okay.
Okay. So no VD.
But in this alternate universe, what was Peter Parker like? Was Peter Parker in this alternate universe?
Did they still date?
Or was there like
He
no
was a
Peter
blonde.
Parker? He was a blonde guy?
I think it was created by, I think partially Heather Antos has something to do with it, or it was modeled after Heather Antos, and it was drawn by,
Yeah, what's his name?
I don't know. Yeah, what's his name?
He had like some kind of
What's
controversy.
Robbie Rodriguez?
Robbie
Yeah.
Rodriguez. They had some controversy recently or a while ago.
Well, I think, this is because he kind of created the character, and he considered it to be his kind of like his baby.
Right.
And then Frank Cho comes along and wants to draw a picture of her with her, her boobs out or something like that. And Robbie Rodriguez says that's not cool. And then, so Frank Cho says, lighten up. It's just a joke, have fun, and then you don't own this character, and this is not yours. And then they had, and that whole thing sparked the whole outrage thing that he does, where he takes this controversy and cashes in big time on it. And, like, he's kind of known for his outrage
Frank Cho.
sketch covers.
Yeah.
And then I saw him in Baltimore, and then he just asked me if I knew anything about him and how big he is and stuff, physically. And then he finally met up with him at some con.
Yeah. Robbie
And
Rodriguez and
realized-
Frank Cho
yeah.
met up. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we thought it was gonna be like the fight of the century, but really it was nothing. I mean, Robbie just said like, well, I'm just, it's kind of just all just hyping it up just for the press or whatever, and everything was kind of dissolved, and then they found that each other, they kind of liked each other and thought each other was kind of cool. So
I will say this. From having created a character for a company, like Monkey Prince, and then seeing another artist drawing Monkey Prince, you still feel like that's your kid, even though it's now shared with anybody, right? So, like when Monkey Prince was in Lazarus Planet, and he was drawn by other artists, and I'm like, yo, that's not how the costume looks, man. Or, he wouldn't sit that way, like, or like, man, you forgot to do this, or you forgot to do that, and it's like, you catch yourself like, hey, man, it's not my character anymore. if there's another Monkey Prince series, there's no guarantee that they're going to hire me to draw it or write it. They can do with it whatever they want. So, and ultimately, like, if Monkey Prince does reappear, the uniform could change, or certain things could change, and that's completely, they don't have to ask me for anything. So it does, there is like a, I don't know, a small threshold, right? But yeah, I don't know. I bit my tongue, right? I don't want to come out and say anything about anybody.
Imagine if it wasn't a work for hire arrangement, and this is actually a character you created.
Yeah, that'd
be very strange.
So if we drew Genesis, right, and then we drew the two characters.
No, I don't care.
Yeah, Sean's like, whatever.
Do whatever you want.
Draw like big boobs on the girl.
So one of the people who I remember having a big problem was Eric Larson, who really felt like no one can draw Savage Dragon the right way.
Oh, well, that's his character though. That's not owned by.
Yeah.
Right. I have a problem with Eric Larson.
Oh, surprise.
It sounds like I have a lot of problems with a lot of people, but I don't really think I do. I mean, I don't know. I think I'm justified in my problem with him.
Oh, let's talk about it. Like, this is juicy stuff, right?
It's pretty juicy.
Well, yeah, Eric Larson at one point when Image first formed, those guys were huge and really well beloved and respected. And a lot of time has passed. He has certain political views that puts him in a weird spot. He kind of mouths off about certain things, and he doesn't command the same respect that he used to, mostly because of Twitter stuff.
Yeah, I was on Twitter. It was a little bit of a. We had a little bit of.
Was he like a Republican or something?
No, actually, I think he's pretty progressive.
No, he's way on the other side. Like so much so that it causes problems.
Far left progressive, right? D. Rogers, thanks for the resub. 34 months. Roy Batty, sub with Prime. Thank you, Roy Batty. Yeah, I don't know. Do you want to talk about it? I don't really want to talk about it. Sean's just trying to
people want to hear about it.
Draw up. Did we? What happened to the poll with Fletch?
I was wondering. We see a lot of your photo references taking up half of your screen. Is that?
Okay. Let's get out of that. I'm just trying to get the uniform right.
Yeah, let me tell you what I thought of that whole. I think it didn't have something to do with.
Oh, you remember it? You know what I'm talking about?
It has to do with a sound effect. Was it a sound effect? Chink, like a chink in the armor.
It was a chink in the armor.
Chink in the armor is a term that's used to say that there's a less than ideal situation, like something is like there are cracks in the system. So he's used this term. Someone used the term chink in the armor,
right?
And they got all pissed off, and he's basically said to calm down because that's a commonly used phrase and it's not racist at all.
Yeah, and I said, yes, it is a commonly used phrase, or not even. It's not really that common anymore. It was perhaps in the older days, but it's still a fairly touchy word, even though it does have this other meaning. But then surely there are other words in the English language that you can use instead of chink, even though chink in the armor is a term that has been used in the past. But just because something was used in the past, again, doesn't justify it being used now. And especially, I was surprised from someone who is fairly progressive to understand, or at least to have sympathy towards simpatico with a term that could be, it's a fairly racist term, the word itself.
Right.
And there are other English words that we don't use that sound like other, there's an N-word that sounds...
That's interesting, yeah. Like, very quickly, someone brought up that other term that means stingy that we dropped from the English language because it sounds like another word.
Yeah.
And some people think that's ridiculous and some people think it's justified.
Wait, I don't know which word that is.
Yeah, wait, which word is that?
It means stingy or
Yeah.
cheap or like tight-fisted,
But
but
it's hardly ever
I
used
can't even
nowadays.
say the word.
Nobody.
don't
I'm
know.
not even gonna.
Douche?
I'm not even gonna try to pronounce the word. It's
So you're demonetized.
uh, it's
No,
not
I
even.
really, I'm trying to think what
But
the
it's
word
not
is.
even. But it's not even worth using because you can just say stingy or cheap, um, or
Door.
tight wadded, tight fisted. I don't know what's another. But you know what? You know it's a free country. You can say whatever you want, right? It is still a word. But then don't be surprised if I'm standing next to you and I'm upset. I think I can be justified in being upset.
So you're not drawing Savage Dragon anytime soon,
I guess not. Um,
or working with Greg Pak.
yeah. Well, see, Sean, why are you using all these names now? Whatever happened to the embargo on names?
Well, I mean, that
I
was
think
when
that
Twitter
went
was flying.
away. Episode 100.
Yeah, Twitch was flying high, and we get like hundreds of people here. But now it's
Yeah.
Twitch is kind of,
Now it's a
I
very
don't know,
intimate
it's gonna be
group.
sold at some point.
It's a very intimate group. I think everybody already knows, though. Pretty much. Is the
But
poll up? Did the poll ever go up?
You usually ask me beforehand if there is like any topic that we should discuss or something.
Yeah, is there a topic we should discuss?
Oh, one thing that's kind of making the rounds now, since there was that artist that passed away, he was a lesser known indie artist. So there is this kind of hashtag on Twitter about that's something like comics broke me, and people are talking about how the comics industry can be very toxic.
What is the comics broke me hashtag? I don't get it. I saw Mike Choi had a post, like a story about it, but I didn't really understand. And then I saw a post by Billy Tucci about comics broke me, and then where he's sitting being appreciative of comics providing for him and his family. So what is the comics broke me hashtag? What is that?
Well, there was an artist that passed away, and they don't reveal the cause of his death. So then there are people who just kind of assumed or wanted to make it an issue about how bad the comic book industry is. So they attribute it possibly to overwork and about how you can't afford healthcare and how you work to the bone and die of exhaustion, which probably isn't true. Who knows what he died of? But it's just a chance for certain people to pile on and just say like we need change, we need to have a union or whatever, or we need healthcare, or we need to increase the amount that artists are getting, which is all true. But it's a very divisive issue because there are people who are saying that comics does pay well and you can do well, and some people are calling the people complaining as crybabies. So
no, I think artists and writers need to unionize. Like this is such an old industry. It's kind of surprising that there is no kind of union for them. So it would definitely bring in benefits and help all artists, young and old, get their fair share. And
Sean's a big proponent for union.
Third.
Has they tried to union?
Yeah, the people say it won't work. I mean, because the writers can, because with a work stoppage, you can cripple an industry. But I think if we tried to do like a work stoppage, we just all starve. And then people will just say like, all right, that was it for comics. Let's watch TV instead.
Happen. That's what everybody thinks. Everybody thinks that if they unionize, then they're going to get fired. I mean, I think that's a scare tactic used by everybody, but it's, I mean, I think the younger generation of artists too, they want to be treated better. They're like the younger generations going into this new, or trying to navigate an old business system, whether regardless of whatever, industry they want to go into, they want to have better rights. They want more work-life balance. And I can see how they would want, be supportive of that too. Whereas like people who've been doing this for 10, 20 years, you're more of like, well, it's just how I've been doing, and you've been getting paid well. Or some people will just get burnt out anyways and then just leave. But in your case, Sean, it's always good to be like married to somebody who already has a steady income. But yeah, especially healthcare though. Healthcare is such a huge deal. Like it also keeps people in a lot of jobs too. So it might even keep people who are, struggling to come up as artists. It'll prevent them from actually going into other industries and getting like a day job, and it'll let them, actually continue doing their art. But I mean, I think there's definitely more pros than cons in unionized. Um, I don't know, just my 2 cents.
It'd be
I'm
interesting
gonna
to see.
try to
Okay.
I'm gonna try to stream. I'm gonna try to change my
You
because
gonna
I'm
try to
gonna
change your
finish my
camera?
PhD from- Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do it from like my phone though. So I'm gonna probably interrupt something really quick because I won't be able to stick it on top here.
And you hold up a big sign that says union and stand on top of your
I
desk.
will. I won't be able to wait. Can I put that here? I can make everybody like feel sick.
Oh, hey, there you go. The drawing. She draws on her phone.
No, that's my mini iPad. No. Uh-oh. No, it's not gonna hold up.
Anybody on stream in chat part of a workers union?
It'd be interesting if there was one. I mean, if there's everyone gonna at like a time when there's gonna be one that started for comics, it could be at any time now. So it's a question of like, what do we do? I mean, you've just started a big book, and I own my own book, and then technically we're supposed to stop.
Well,
Pencils
yeah.
down.
So if this was the case and the union writers union strike is going on, and we're part of, what am I doing? Double screen. And
Sorry, I'm trying to fix it. Just a minute.
That's okay.
Don't mess with anything yet.
And the writers union was striking, we would have to strike too, right? In solidarity.
Yeah.
I mean, I know of the animation union or the storyboard union, with Mark Moretti, our good friend Mark, who's in the storyboard union. And then I do think the union does create certain protections for the artist or for the worker. And it also sets rates. I don't know if the union how that would work in comics, because I guess most indie comics, even if there was a union, I think would still be non-union projects, right? Would you say that? Would you? Just because of cost.
Too small.
Cost prohibitive. I mean, because of the like. Okay, my ex-wife was part of the acting union, SAG, Screen Actors Guild. So, once you join SAG, you can only work on union projects, right? So if you're a union person, you can only work on union gigs. Every now and then you can apply for an exemption, but you can't do too many projects that are non-union. So you then, once you get into that category, you limit yourself, right? I mean,
So, for example, let's say I did a Kickstarter and I asked you to draw a cover for it.
I wouldn't be able to do it.
You would not be allowed to.
Yeah, unless it's a union, unless you're only hiring like union workers on your project. If that makes any sense, right? And that's to protect union projects, union wages, union workers. You know, so how many of these people, how many artists would be willing to do that? Um, there are a lot of international creators now. So how would that work?
Yeah,
You know, how
it
would
gets
that work
messy really
in
fast.
terms of taxes? And I'm not against it. I'm just saying, like, you know, if we're going to talk about it, we really have to have an intelligent conversation about it, where you're throwing all the possibilities out there.
Well, would you say there's more comic creators than there are TV and film writers?
No.
No,
Well, okay. I've done. How many books does? I don't know if your Jimbo knows this. How many books does Marvel and DC publish a month? A few years ago, it used to be about 80, 90 new books a month from each Marvel and DC. And probably actually a little bit lower than that, the number, because, you know, when they had new 52, that means 52 titles a month, plus any kind of special limited series, annuals, or things like that. So at that time, like, DC was maybe 70 books a month, new. So that meant 70 working artists. You know, it could have been less writers. You know, it could have been maybe like 50 writers, 70 artists. Because usually an artist can only draw one book a month, typically. And then maybe tack on like double that for other books that are in progress, that are in production. So if you made it like, let's say 140. So 70 working, 70 books that are coming out. It's not 140, then Marvel, that times two, you're looking at 280, maybe 300 working artists for Marvel and DC. So that's fewer people than that's actively in the NBA, right? So when you're looking at, and my thought process is the consideration of someone that's actually physically collecting a check for a piece of artwork, because let's say Sean technically is a Marvel DC artist, but he's not working on a Marvel project right now. He's working on his own book, so that wouldn't count for Marvel DC, right? You know, you have a lot of artists that kind of go to these conventions. They're not, they might not be working on a book at that moment or project, so they're not actually technically working. If that does that make any sense?
Yes.
So fewer comic book artists are working at Marvel DC than there are at NBA active players on a roster. Roster NBA is 15 players per team, times 30. That's 350, something like that. Not to mention two-way player contracts that are played in the D League, which is the developmental league. Now, yes, there are overseas. There are overseas league, and Taiwan alone has 3 separate professional leagues. Players getting paid in various scales. There's a lot of leagues overseas in Europe, South America, et cetera, et cetera. There's even an NBA league in Africa. So, and pro league, 1 or 2 pro leagues in Australia. They're professional players, but some of those salaries are vary greatly. And I don't know. Right? So when you're talking about like a union, really it's like a Marvel DC. I mean, would Boom be able to pay their artists the same rate as Marvel DC? I don't think so. Or Dynamite? Or
yeah, no way.
Right?
Yeah, there's not enough money in it, so I don't know.
But then the other curious thing is Mike Choi, he posted something where they found like a page rate from 1978. Marvel page rate was $300 a page.
That's a lot.
Yeah, in 1978.
$300. So that, like, today is the top rate. If you can get $300 a page for pencils and inks. I mean, there's guys that are getting more, but I think most of the guys are getting less or around that. So, how was Marvel or DC able to pay an artist that high of a rate back then when comics were 60 cents, 35 cents, 1978?
I think it's the same in every industry. You know, the higher ups are getting paid a
Or
shit ton
maybe it
more.
was $200 a page. Maybe something like that. But it was
Either
200
way,
incrementally.
it's a lot of money.
So and then
You can put Courtney's screen on.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, Courtney. Okay, let me see. Oh, okay.
Aren't you guys glad we don't have to see her face anymore? You can see her hand drawing.
There you go. A lot of zooming in.
Courtney, can you tilt your camera so that it then gets the horizontal shot?
Oh shit.
Because it's kind of a vertical screen right now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's coming up on the it's coming up differently, like on
Oh, there it is.
Okay.
There we go. Perfect.
Let's see. I'm going to reconnect it.
Perfect. Thank you.
This is hard. You do this every week? Oof.
All right, we got to get out of here. Thanks for watching, guys.
Okay, yeah, bye.
When you're drawing this Spider Gwen, is it kind of cheating or something? Like the webbing on the inside of her hood, or the webbing on her body, you can't really do it in ink, right? Because it's a color on a color, or white on a color. So it's hard to do an ink drawing of her.
Is it?
What do you mean, Sean?
But isn't like the webbing on her arm or on the inside of her hood? You can't make it black like Spider-Man's.
Oh, right, because it's white on pink.
It's white on pink, which is sort of like, I don't know, is that sort of cheating in comics? So you can't make a character like that, because how do you even draw it if you're drawing that book?
Yeah.
Dude, why is this doing this to me?
Cartoonist
I just
co-op.
fixed it.
What is James quote? What is this cartoonist co-op? Starting to organize. Now here's the other thing is like, it's back to the vertical again.
Why is it doing it?
I think you gotta keep the phone, or maybe there's a setting like on the phone in the setting where
The lock screen.
yeah, lock screen.
My bad, guys.
The
Neil Adams tried to do the union.
He did
a while back.
Health insurance. It is possible to set up like a co-op just for health insurance, so you can lower the health insurance if you get together a group of people. Like I remember there was a thing way before Obamacare that was like
freelancer or something.
Freelancer, but there was a farmers thing like in California that you could sign up, even though you weren't a farmer. If you were a resident of California, you could sign up for this co-op, which would lower the cost because you're getting a whole group of people together to share the insurance costs. So, if it's just health insurance, that is possible. Aside from a union, a union really is about protecting workers' rights and wages, right? So in the storyboard union, you have to be in the union to work on a union project. So it helps weed out, well, not necessarily weed out, but it prevents non-union workers from stealing a job from a union worker, right? And then it also sets wages at a minimum scale. There's different tiers. So there's a beginning tier, middle tier, top tier. So you're guaranteed a minimum per week of work. And I think those are great things because pay right now in comics is, all over the map. And a lot of creators, they're actually discouraged from sharing their rates, or a lot of creators don't talk about their rates.
Yeah, I got that speech.
Oh, you weren't supposed to?
Well, it's discouraged, but also a lot of creators don't like talking about it, or they don't like sharing it. I know one person, he didn't want to share his rate because he said in the past he mentioned it to some other people and they were upset at his rate.
That it's higher than
That it's
theirs?
higher
I mean, how
than,
can you
yeah.
be upset at him though? Like that's
Yeah, I don't, but working in comics too, there's a lot of ego in comics. There's a lot of.
But it's the same way working at in a company. I mean, it was always frowned upon until, like I said, like now more of the younger generation too, as well as like millennials are kind of like, I don't give a shit. We should all be more transparent. I remember I went into a job and someone who had a senior position, more senior than me, excellent at her job, she was getting paid almost half as what I was. And it was shocking. And this was, 10 years ago. So it was definitely more taboo to really talk about it. But, they can pay more and you have to vouch for yourself but also having your peers around you, regardless. Um, you know, it's something that I think should come out because it's more transparency and people might not know their own worth too, so they don't know what to tell Marvel or DC or any other company. So I feel
Especially
like
if you're an artist. I mean, artists
yeah.
constantly undervalue themselves. That's how they get better. And then now you got to advocate for yourself at a contract meeting.
Yeah, I mean it became comics has definitely become a more of a business model in the past 10-20 years, probably even longer than that. I mean, I think having smaller companies around, kind of the bigger ones are able to kind of get away with this bullshit, because of that. Because it's like, oh, well, what are you going to do? You're going to go to the smaller companies that aren't, paying you that much, or, um, you know, they're not going to have any really ongoing, there's a lot of threats or a lot of like bullshit. So
There's a
I don't know.
question which is probably more geared towards Sean and Bernard. I know you guys can answer this. Jack Intel is asking, is there any royalty rates for paid comics?
Yeah, I think there used to be a threshold. If you reach that, then you get paid. And there was. I mean, I made royalty checks in the past. A lot of the money I made was from royalties, but
Oh, let's
comics
talk about Sean's royalties. Let's talk about his
But do you
royalty
still
from
get
Rye
them?
number 9.
Well, yeah, I still get royalties, but they're like, I just got a check. You get them quarterly, and it was like $90, and
Wow.
that covers like reprint stuff and digital.
Sean worked his first book ever professional. Rye number 9, Valiant Comics. Rye and the Future Force number 9. And we've said it on here. It goes up, but it was in 5 figures, high 5 figures. Right?
What?
What was it, like 60,000? We keep saying it's like 90 something thousand now, 90,000.
Yeah, but
It was around for one book, one issue.
The key is that happened at the beginning of my career. That's really important because there's 2 things that can happen with that. You either buy a big flat screen TV and then you lose it all, or you put it away. So the fact that it happened so long ago means that it could, accrue. It just, every 7 years it doubles, and that was so long ago.
Yeah, Sean, that has led to now Sean can buy a nice house. Like that.
From all that, saving all that.
Yeah, and that all that saving was just from a misbelief, because I was told by my parents that if I choose this for a living, it's just a matter of time before I starve. And there's some truth to that. So I never spent it. And then it's that misbelief that made me what I am today. But if I was a more confident, brave person, I would have spent it. But the cool thing about that comics broke me thing is that people talk about how comics broke them or not broke them. So I'm just wondering, like, with you, Bernard, in what ways did comics break you, and what way was it good for you? We see all the good stuff. I mean, your
So I don't
couple
get
residences, couple of cars.
yeah, I don't get the broke me thing. What does that mean? Like comics?
Well, that it's toxic and it's bad. In some ways, it's been bad for you because what you're going through now is a lot of suffering. You know, just trying to keep up with the book.
Yeah.
And it's a constant grind, which is understandable because it's comics. But these days, the amount of work you're doing is not done anymore because people just don't do that much work.
I mean, I've been drawing a page and a half a day for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, and it's hard to find someone to replace you that's a millennial or a Gen Z person. Like, they won't be able to. They look at how much work and they're like, no, that's not a balanced lifestyle.
And I've had no life outside of work, so basically,
so comics broke you.
Well, I mean, it's part of the nature of the job, right? I mean, it's a monthly book. It's so. Is that so? The breaking part is bad, or the breaking part is good?
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. When something breaks you, that just like emotionally destroys you.
Oh. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I think I've accepted it as
you guys are
part of the job.
professionals, though. You guys are the ones that like made it. There's people who haven't necessarily made it. I think those are the people that are like really discussing this. I think I saw a YouTube video of someone, talking about just doing web comics and how, you can't. Some of them don't really see a dime for the first few years, or I don't really understand web comics myself. Jimbo will probably know all this.
There.
Yeah, but it's I think trying to go after your own, especially do your own comic, and you're not really involved in any other projects like within Marvel or DC. It's a lot of work, and then when you don't have those followers, or it should just always become a hobby before trying to be a money maker, I guess, for a lot of the new people trying to get into the industry, from what I've read or seen.
I think your darkest moment in comics was, I think it was on a book at DC, and there was a writer you were collaborating with that did not want to play ball with you. Like, you made your life difficult and didn't listen to anything you had to say in terms of like what you thought would make the book better, and just kind of just ignored everything. And then that situation went on for like years, right?
Right, I worked on that book for like 2 years.
Yeah, I mean that's unheard of, to be suffering for that long.
But part of that is like, well, that's the business, right? That's the. I mean, I could have moved to another book. I think that would have been an option, possibly. I felt obligated to stay on the book. I mean, that certainly wasn't a great time. I'm sure he didn't have a great time writing the book either.
Well, that's probably because he's being so stubborn.
Well, it's also his.
Even Walt Simonson let me make changes to his script.
Well, I mean,
because he's a cool guy.
Yeah, I mean, I eventually made. I made all the changes anyways, so it was like double work. Like I had to basically rewrite the whole book as I'm drawing it. Not rewriting. I mean, all the fundamentals were the same in terms of the story, but rearranging every page and the panels on every page. So it just became like a lot of extra work. I don't know. Look,
what's funny is
I can say, like, when I was at Disney and I was working at Disney Imagineering and Disney Interactive, It was a very different setup. You know, you're getting a check every 2 weeks. You had an office. You had to go to the office every day. You had to wear pants every day. That's something that I haven't done in
What?
like 20 years since Disney. Um,
What are pants?
yeah, I know. Like usually, like if I'm streaming, I'm in my underwear, um, and
Or diapers?
or diapers. Yeah. Um, so
I was going to say that um, I think I've known you for a long time. It was always since back in Valiant. And there is a little bit of a cloud around you of like, you know, how like you procrastinate a lot and a lot of times you won't turn in the work on time and you wait till the very last minute and you draw very fast. So you can always kind of recover. But it was always like, oh, there's Bernard and his work ethic, which is kind of like not the greatest, but he'll come through in the end. But times have changed so much where the social norms have changed and how much work a company can demand for you has changed so much that you're actually at this point like a workhorse in comparison to the younger generation and what they're willing to put up with in terms of a work-life balance.
yeah, well, it does.
I
You
feel
know, it does
like
suffer. Like your life does suffer, right?
procrastination is also something I do just because I don't know. I feel like if you're a procrastinator, it's just kind of in your nature. You can try not to be sometimes. I try not to be, but when it comes to maybe art or, you know, actually getting stuff done, I think when you have the clock ticking, it might help. But somebody on the stream was talking about how Pixelholic says none of you has ever had the problem of trying to chase down editors or companies for money after doing work and having been promised pay. I mean,
Really
I'm
love
sure
that,
it's
yeah.
That's
yeah.
I
happened.
think in the world of freelance, you always have that problem.
Yeah, Pixelholic.
And
I did a
and
project
when you
last.
work with
Oh, sorry, Pixelholic. I did a project. Was it, 2 years ago or a year and a half ago that I had to chase down a publisher, and this was a big time. I mean, this is a name. They still owe Sean a bunch of money, and you know I was trying
let
to
me
get
get
Sean
them, I'll
paid
get them.
at the same time I was getting paid.
Yeah, they didn't pay me. They owe me like $780 or something like that.
Yeah.
What's the
And they never
longest you
paid.
guys have ever waited for a paycheck?
Well, this
I waited a
this
year
one.
for one freelance job before.
Well, you know what's weird? In advertising, it's I think it's standard to wait 3 months because
Yeah, 90 days.
the client pays they pay the agency, and then the agency pays you, so it's extra time there.
But you know, most of the time, with the bigger, at least with the agent, they were able to help like track down the money. Because sometimes I just forget, or I'm like just working on other stuff, trying to not get too bogged down. I've worked on a project where they owed me like 20-something thousand bucks. I had to go hire an
Oh
attorney.
my God. Oh,
And I got
you
a
can hire
portion
me.
of
I'll
it
do
back.
it.
Huh? Yeah, I got a portion of
I
it
will
back.
track
Yeah.
people down.
And these were people like the people that ran the company had money. They just didn't have. They were smart, or I shouldn't say smart. They were conniving, in that they didn't have money in the bank account of the company until the end of the month when bills were due, and then they transfer the funds in there to pay the bills. But then after the bills were paid, it would be like $5 in the account. So they're always claiming like they don't have any money, right? And then ultimately, when we had to force a legal settlement, we could force them to declare bankruptcy, but since they didn't have any assets, everything was rented. The tables, the computers, there's nothing to liquidate to get money back. So there are very conniving people in the business world. So for an artist, we're not taught really any of this kind of stuff. So you're kind of learning as you go. And I mean, I've heard horror stories from Disney, but when I was at Disney, I had no problem with them at all. So
Disney's known for that.
And because they're such a big company, so I had no problem at Disney at all. I really enjoyed my time, but I was a staff member, so. But it does happen, Pixaholic. It doesn't matter kind of how big you are. Sometimes you just got to be careful with who you work
And
with.
someone who didn't pay me that the agency had to go after was this guy named Max Snow, who is related somehow to Uma Thurman. I think he's like an artist.
Yeah.
And I was doing a bunch of he's having a show, so I would previs all of his artwork for him. But he would have these ideas, and then I would draw it for him, and then he'll take the drawings over to like a person that manufactures it and builds his thing. And he didn't pay me, but that guy was. I mean, I went to his mansion, and he was dripping with cash.
Yeah. So a lot of rich people like snub workers.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of rich. I remember being in New York, and there was I don't want to get political, but I mean, the stories were very well known in the New York press in the '90s about some guy that would hire contractors to build stuff for him, and then not pay the contractors, and then tell the contractors, "Well, what are you going to do? You're going to sue me?" And he has a whole team of lawyers, and those small mom and pop places would get would be buried in legal bills, and then ultimately not get their money, and then maybe have their business go under, fighting this legal battle to get back money. So a lot of people then just, I guess, gave up, right? Obviously, when you're starting out too, I remember as a young kid, you're working on a lot of projects that you're just hustling. You're trying to get anything you can get, and there's going to be cases where you're going to get taken advantage of. So, I mean, that company that I was working with that owed me like $25,000. We had I had hired a bunch of people to create these comic books, writers and artists, and I hadn't gotten paid, but I had a negotiated kind of salary. And then when I realized that the people that I was hiring were not getting paid as well, I stopped production. So I said to the company, you have to pay all of these people that I brought on. Otherwise, you're not going to get any of the books that we've worked on. And sure enough, in a week or two, they cut a check and paid everybody, made sure everybody got whatever they were owed. And then we had one last book to work on. So now it was my turn to get paid. And they went behind me to one of the artists that I'd hired and asked him if he was willing to draw the portion of the book that I was going to draw. And
he did.
And he
The
did.
scab.
Right?
Hence, this is like the person that we determine your mortal enemy, right?
Yeah. This guy
on this channel, right?
And this guy, I went to high school with this guy. I went to college with this guy. When he wanted to get into the this studio that I was part of with John Paul, I got him in. Once I started at Valiant, I got him a internship there, and that's kind of how he got his start. So, to me, it's an issue of there's like some slight loyalty, but it's a huge character issue. I think it's if I'm asking for something, I made sure he got paid first. Most people would make sure they themselves got paid first before other people would. I'm sure he would probably get, if the rules were reversed, he would line his pocket first. So I felt very hurt or betrayed. So I think I was justified in not liking this guy. Right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Wait, what's his name again?
That's funny. Try to strip him up. Your Spider-Gwen is very, very Taylor Swift.
Is it?
Oh, it does. I can see it.
Yeah, I think someone actually put a claim on it.
Really? I was gonna give this away. Who put a claim on it? Let's get out of here. Are we almost done? Did we talk enough
so
shit
you don't-
today?
No. You don't put the webs on the inside of her hood? Like,
Oh, I'm
does she
gonna.
have
Oh,
webs?
let me erase it. Yeah, I'm gonna do the eraser thing.
Oh, okay. That's how you know it. I was
Yeah.
wondering.
So I'm gonna darken up the hoodie a little bit more. Yeah.
You're always make that bold choice of drawing the women from what is the up angle,
The up angle, yeah.
which
It's
It's
still not
tough.
perfect though. I still need to work on it. Sometimes afterwards I look at it and it's kind of flat. The face is.
someone claimed it at 100. Oh my god.
Oh, damn.
What?
Yeah.
A to
A
the
to the
J.
J claimed it at 100.
Ooh.
He didn't want to take his chances with the lottery.
All right, A to the J. Thank you so much. Yeah. I mean, there are times. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I'm justified in the.
Okay. But would you say at all that comics broke you in any way?
No.
Sean, you're the one who left. What about you?
Well, Bernard left for a while too, for greener pastures. I think for me, I go into it eyes wide open, knowing that it doesn't pay the bills, but you know,
Some of this too is
I've,
like there's some artists out there that there is a quality. Like, it's very difficult to draw comic books. You have to learn how to draw everything, and you have to draw it in a competent way, in a timely way, and some of
Yeah,
this is like
there-
arguments from people that I don't think are qualified. But
yeah,
again, it's a very difficult situation because it's not like, there's a lot of artists that think they're better than they are. I don't know how else to. I mean, Sean, you understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, there's some shitty people out there.
I wouldn't say that. It's just, look,
I'm just
in
kidding.
athletics, there are statistics. So, but in art, there really isn't any kind of statistics.
it's subjective.
It's a lot of it is subjective. Even like, look, people that are working, that are popular artists aren't necessarily the best artists. They're just very popular for one reason or another. Sometimes it's like the style, and it's a new style, and it's. But technically, from an artistic perspective, from a one-to-one drawing aspect, not everybody that's super popular is
Yeah, there are a lot of people who try to draw comics because they can be very popular on like Tumblr or whatever, where they draw, they can draw like Pretty Woman's face, and then they think like, well, I'm gonna level up one more level now. I'm gonna be drawing comics. They give it a try, and then they're like, oh no, never again, because it is a whole different skill set that sometimes it's like 10x the amount of work as it is to do an illustration.
Oh yeah, it's a lot
And I
of
don't think
work.
you're prepared for it. Yeah, and so yeah, the thing there is, well, I think anyone who primarily is an illustrator, why wouldn't you want to be a storyteller rather than just an illustrator? Because it allows you to actually create and own an IP. So obviously it's like, well, I'm going to try to draw a comic. That way I become a creator of IPs rather than someone who does like a illustration for a Time magazine or something. And then they'll try it, and then it just doesn't work out because it's just too hard. Because you're drawing in those like tiny panels, and it's like 7 smaller drawings on one page, and then the whole aspect of storytelling is something that they've never really had to engage before. So, anyone can get it, but you might take like 10 years. But 10 years is a lot of time. So.
All right, I messed up on the webbing.
So do you have a plan B for it?
Well, just kind of refill it back in, and then go back and erase. I should have erased the lines going out, and then the webbing that comes across, that needs to be like curved, not straight lines. So when I did the straight lines first, I did the wrong straight lines. So this is allowing me to like maybe make the hoodie a little bit darker. I can feel like the texture on the paper. This is smooth plate. Again, I really like smooth plate, but that's just a preference. Because I do like to erase a lot. So I'm going to go back in here with the Mono Zero that I got from Janoff's.
Janoff? Yeah.
This is the Mono Zero eraser. This is a flat one. I have two of these. One's flat, one is a rounded, mini rounded edge. You can tell the difference. One gives you like a nice wide flat. This is like a pointed eraser. So compared to like my normal Pentel click eraser, you can see the difference in like the eraser edge.
So the rectangular one allows you to erase rectangles?
Well, I can get lines. Circles. Yeah, I can get like good lines with this. So,
What'd you have this one?
In a lot of illustrations, like in a Drews Struzan illustration, or a lot of people who paint portraits, I see this thing a lot, which is like in the close-up of the lips, they draw lots of like little rectangles.
Really?
Yeah.
What kind of illusion does that give you?
I think it's because it's the highlight that's on the lower lip, and since it's like very like striated, you zoom in closely and there's like 7 or 5 perfect rectangles there, and I see that in so many drawings.
Rectangles?
Yes.
I'm gonna attempt it.
Yeah, you can, if you look up like Drews Struzan or something like that, you'll see that. Or Chuck P Comics, there's a guy named Chuck P Comics on Instagram who just puts like basic shapes on people's faces, and it's really nice.
I think that's kind of what I'm trying to learn right now, is like using more. Of course, there's curves to everything, but just trying to actually use more shapes.
Yeah,
didn't really work out.
Jerry, how much are these Pentel Mono Zero erasers? Tombow.
Like $4.50 or something like that.
Yeah.
$4.50 a pop.
These were I first got them like a few years ago.
I got like 4 different kinds.
Oh, there's other different kinds besides these two?
Well, the ones that I got in Taipei.
The Mono Zero? There are other Mono Zeros that you got in Taipei?
Triangle eraser.
Yeah, they're pretty dope.
Oh, shit.
I've got so many in my thing here. Give me a second. Oh, shit. Hey, I forgot. I didn't realize I have this pencil. This is the one that everyone should get.
What is that?
Which one?
Oh, wait. It's frozen. This is the Orange Pro.
Orange Pro, oh.
Yeah, but this is the 0.2 version of it, which is pretty awesome.
But how do you get the lead if it's a 0.2?
Oh, well, I mean, any good art store should have that.
A 0.2 lead?
Yeah.
That's super thin. That's thinner than the 0.03.
Correcto mundo, my friend.
Damn. Playing with...
Oh, I use a 0.3.
Playing with fire there.
Pilot.
0.3. Oh, we used to draw comics with a 0.3.
Yeah.
My thing is frozen, so I can't tell if it's working.
Your thing's frozen? I can see it.
My
Oh, your browser.
I don't think the rectangles are working out.
Should I add a little
These are
color to
the
this?
4 different mono erasers that everyone should get.
Oh wow. What's the
But
one on the end?
these two,
That's this
yeah,
one?
these are the 2 you can only get in Asia. These are the ones you can get in America.
So is
And I even have the lipstick size one somewhere, which is pretty awesome.
So Jerry,
I got
is
this
one of them
little
just
one.
an eraser stick like this?
Yeah. Well, that's just a regular eraser,
Okay.
but I got so many of them here. Shit. Oh yeah. This is the lipstick size one.
Ooh.
You ever use those electric ones?
Oh, I have an
Nah, I
electric
hate those.
eraser. Yeah, I
Are
haven't
they
used
supposed to
those in a while.
vibrate?
For
What
skip.
are they?
Yeah, they
They
vibrate.
spin.
I mean, isn't that what they do?
That's what they do basically. Yeah, they just vibrate.
Yeah.
Circular.
thought
It's
they
a circular
spin.
thing. Yeah, they spin.
It spins? I'd probably destroy paper with that.
All right, let me.
Oh, this gets color now?
I'm gonna get some color in this.
Bernard, I gotta upgrade your watercolor set.
This is the ninja one. What is this one? The koi?
That's the koi.
The koi?
Yeah, but I've moved on to these 2 different Japanese ones. Actually, this is one I really think everyone should get.
Oh.
This one is really nice.
What
It's
is
like black, blue, black, red, black, green, black, yellow. Everything is black mixed into it. It's really nice for shading.
what is it called?
That's weird. Black is mixed in?
It just says Japanesque color. We have it at our store. That's all I know.
Janoff's on
Japanese. It's
110th
made
and
in
Broadway.
Then there's another Japanese watercolor set. This is the one I've been using a lot recently. I like this one.
Ooh.
So, just so everyone knows, I learned a painful lesson when me and Bernard were in Taipei together last time. I had a Winton, like the most expensive Winsor Newton Winton watercolor set, and it's in the cakes, like the one that Bernard's using right now. But the problem was those cakes are replaceable, so they come out. And because they come out, every time I put them in my backpack and went to the comic show, they would just pop out.
It's like
And then
mahjong
because
tiles.
of because of the humidity in Taipei,
Yeah.
they were like melting inside the case.
Melting.
So that was a bummer. So I had to, when I came back to the States, I had to switch sets, and I
Expensive as
went
hell.
through so many. Yeah, so I was looking through all the sets for the cakes that are not replaceable, and I wanted a Japanese set. So the one that I landed on is the one that I'm using right now, and the colors are pretty good. But I'm probably going to be upgrading pretty soon again to a Holbein set.
Ooh.
Not that anyone cared, but just figure I'd share.
Jerry, do you usually use watercolor for your comics? Or
It's
just
delicious.
kind
So I've been learning how to I've been teaching myself how to watercolor through Battle of the Sketches, and I never watercolored until the pandemic.
Wow.
But I was always digitally coloring. But for whatever reason, whenever I spend more than like 5 hours at a time on the Cintiq, it must be the angle I'm working at, but my shoulder just feels like falling off.
Mm.
So
I'm
I
joking.
remember Dustin
Mhm.
Nguyen said something where he doesn't want to pencil and ink traditionally because it hurts his arm too much. And he started painting, and for whatever reason that helped it. So that's why I started teaching myself how to paint. And sure enough, it doesn't hurt my arm nearly as much as when I use the Cintiq. So
Oh.
I'm kind of going with that for now.
You think maybe because when you're painting, you're covering area more than a specific precision point with a line?
I think it's just about the way you're sitting, and I'm probably using my whole arm more when I'm painting, as compared to, I think when I use Cintiq, I tend to just like noodle with my wrist only. You know what I mean?
This guy Loris that was helping me out in Osaka Comic-Con, he made an interesting comment. He was watching me draw, and he said that I move my whole arm, like from my shoulder, right?
That's the way you're supposed
It's
to
like
draw.
an armature, whereas he was looking at Ryan Benjamin, and Ryan Benjamin was just using his wrist, so his arm stayed still, and he was
I
like,
use my whole body.
"Yeah, use your."
Yes, I use my whole body to draw.
Can we see that?
From head to toe.
Yes.
That's what professionals do. You hear that? You heard that first, here, folks.
Imagine if, since people are sometimes tuning in for art tips, and if we seriously say you should really use your whole body to draw, just imagine how much trouble you can cause out there.
Bernard,
traditionally, you are supposed to use your whole arm when you draw.
Oh, really?
Are you?
Yeah.
I know painting you're supposed to.
Who said
And you
that?
should tighten your sphincter.
Well, that happens all the time.
But one thing I do is if I'm drawing a line very carefully, I hold my breath, and then if I work too long, I feel like I'm going to pass out.
Oh, I know.
Jeez.
Jerry, have you found any of these watercolor sets, like the longevity of the color? Have they maintained like their brightness over time, or have you not really noticed any
Watercolor
difference?
is pretty archival.
Yeah.
You know what's
watercolors
not
do
archival?
alright.
The Copic, all those markers are not archival.
Really?
So
They're not
watercolors are
that
much better.
bad.
That's
Copics
alcohol
suck.
based. They'll
Dude, I have
fade
Copics
really
from
fast.
like I have my old set from like 25, 30 years ago. I'm not kidding.
Right, but the drawings that you made with them, if you take them out, they're like, oh my god, like the red is now a light pink.
Mm.
I guess that's
Yeah,
true. That's
markers are not meant to last very long.
true. Yeah.
Paint will always last longer than markers.
What about gouache? Gouache? How do you say that?
Gouache?
Gouache.
Gosh. Gouache? What?
Gouache?
So,
Gouache?
do people here know the difference between gouache and watercolor?
Gouache is
Isn't it
usually
thicker?
thicker or more opaque, and they use
That
they use the blood of puppies.
Oh, I love
Yes, that is semi-correct. So, watercolor is by nature more transparent, and gouache is by nature more opaque. But the main difference between gouache and watercolor is that when you use watercolors, let's say, for example, the spider Gwen you're working on, after it dries, you come back to it tomorrow. If you put water on that pink part of her interior hood,
Mm-hmm.
you can not necessarily erase it, but you can bleed it out a little bit.
Right.
Whereas gouache, once it's down and it's dry, that's it. It's not going anywhere.
Oh, and why is that? Is that the material that it's used made
I'm
from?
not sure why, but that's why gouache is considered like a very difficult paint to use.
Oh.
Also difficult because some people say that when you put it down, immediately you don't see the color it's going to be for a few minutes until it dries.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So that sucks.
All right. I'm pretty much done. Is this the sketch belongs to who claimed it? A to the J? Oh, Poop Kid is here. What's up, Poop Kid? Also Crispy Papa from Melbourne.
Are they coming to San Diego Comic-Con?
I don't know. They should be. Poop Kid should be there.
He refuses to ride in a car with me again.
Well, I'm not gonna be there. Sean will be there.
Sean's not driving his coupe.
No. Coupe. I'm gonna use coupe now.
Coupe?
That's the European pronunciation, right? Coupe.
Coupe.
All right. Do we have anybody we wanna raid? Kevin P. West is here. Good to see Kevin P. West. Okay, thank you for the claim, A to the J. Promiscuous Time Traveler is not going to SDCC either. Ooh. Starting a trend. I will be hopefully. Hey, Jerry, have you heard from New York Comic Con about Artist Alley?
I've heard back about they've accepted my application for Artist Alley. It's funny, everyone's been asking me this. Jeff Darrow just asked me,
Yeah.
like 3 people asked me.
Uh-huh.
But we will be hearing on our status in Artist Alley on June 22nd, apparently.
Oh, okay. All right. Because I haven't heard anything. What do you mean on... Wait, what do you mean?
If we are accepted, if we're allowed to pay money for a table at Artist Alley.
Okay.
So that's for normal people like me. I don't know about for people like you or Jeff.
They haven't offered a comp table in New York, so we'll see. Hopefully, I mean, I'll still have to pay for it.
I've always wanted to go.
You should come. New York is awesome.
It's been a while since I've been in New York.
Okay. Let's. Do I have anything to give away? Shit. I don't have anything.
I'm gonna take off. I didn't realize how late it was.
Yeah,
so
it's getting late.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays, Jerry.
Happy holidays.
Thanks for showing us your studio, Jerry.
Your sweet muscles.
And those guns. Look at those guns.
He's on camera. He doesn't talk because you can see him.
Look at those guns. All right.
Yeah.
Who should we raid? Let's raid somebody. Oh, Corny. Let's look at Corny's drawing. Corny, can you zoom in? Let's see your drawing.
Zoom in.
Oh, let me make your. I'll just make your screen bigger. That's all. Duh.
Anime style.
It's weird because it looks like an anime that looks like a white person. Is that just me? Kind of.
Uh-oh. What happened?
Oh, is that Jerry left?
Oh, Jerry left, so okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it's this one then. It gets, the tiles get moved around, so in Discord. Now you did this, what is that, iPad? But are you using your finger?
So, I use this.
The screen is so small.
Oh, okay.
It's just a tiny little guy. But I first sketched it out, so you can see this on my weird old,
It's nice saturated colors.
Yeah, so that's, and then I just took a picture with my phone, but I never did anything like, tried to make it more just bold colors and not try to do a lot.
So it started out with as a pencil drawing.
Yeah, all of them. I can't sketch. Like, yeah, it just let's see.
How do you get those lines to become like ink lines? Do you ink over it?
Yeah, I just ink over it
Digitally. Right.
Yeah, it's actually it's there's that.
Oh,
so it just starts as that.
That's on Procreate.
Yeah, on Procreate.
Okay.
So it starts as that, and then if I just go with the lines, kind of do sometimes different, so I can move layers around. Like if I want to make the mouth a little higher, but it's, I don't know. Every time I ink something, it always looks different than a sketch, but maybe that's everybody. So, but I kind of wanted to make something, Bernard, you got to teach me. I want to make something more, kind of in a different, I don't know what it would be called. Like if you had something, like I wanted to make, oh wait, cancel. Let's just make a new layer. Like if I wanted to make the head like that, and then let's say that's a horrible arm, but like kind of more, and then you have kind of like the legs. That's terrible.
Overhead?
Okay, like a
dynamic
angle or
more
dynamic pose?
Yeah, I wanted to do something more like that, or something like more like poppy, like even if the like hand's really big. Oh, that's a great hand. But you know,
start with photo reference.
yeah,
to
that's
help out.
true.
Yeah.
Get some butt action.
Ooh,
That's
ooh,
great. That's wonderful. I'm such a pro.
mm.
Yeah, it's a very like pinup type shot.
Okay, maybe not like that, but yeah, do something. You gotta teach me that.
Okay, let's do
I feel like
let's do that
everything
next
ends
time.
up being flat.
Let's end up
Yeah,
doing that next time.
foreshortened.
Okay.
Do you? Well, okay. I guess we can start like next time. But if you want to show the pencil drawing, can you show the pencil drawing again? That's
Just
on
on the
that's on the paper.
yeah. So I always just start with this.
So you don't have much underdrawing, like in terms of like structural.
No, I don't do like a circle head. You know, I don't. I just do from. I think I would have to do that for sure. I think that when I tried to do that, I think I should try the blue pencil. Yeah, because I think when I try to do just regular pencil and then pencil over that, I get confused.
Or we do the light box trick, so
Yeah.
you do all the rough sketch on the back.
Yeah, that's a lot better. But let's see. Yeah, I did. This is the one I did for that one other character.
Oh, magic.
Yeah.
Liliana Rasputin.
Yeah. So these, I mostly sketched these more because I knew that I was gonna do more digital because I can't draw digitally. I don't know how.
You might want to
does.
try drawing the figure digitally. That way, digitally, you can do the underdrawing, like the structural bones. And,
That's true. I think I need to rest my hand like on something though when I draw digitally, and I can't really do that.
Do you
Yeah,
have,
it's really hard.
I mean, the other thing is, are you saying that your hand gets stuck on the iPad, or because it's...
No, I think it's just like I can't do. Also, when you like zoom in, so if I'm doing more of like the hair here, I can zoom in and get, but I don't know the perspective of it, you know, as much as I just have it on here. That also throws me off. I mean, this is really easy and quick to sketch out a lot better.
What's next?
And then I can always.
Who's next week's character?
Which one character?
Oh, who's the character for next week? Battle of the Sketches.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, probably one of the spider people, right?
It's the spider people. Yeah. So let's do that. Remind me next week. Remind us, Courtney.
Okay.
You know, we can do. I can draw something digitally. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
It'll be a lesson in foreshortening and posing or something.
Yeah. And like structural.
I did
working on
that one on here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Got the titties. Yeah. And then that one. But yeah, I wanted to try something more dynamic.
Okay. All right, there's Promiscuous Time Traveler. Did you want us to raid you? Are you going to be online? If not, James Quo suggested Ruverin, who is also drawing Spider-Gwen right now. Twitch has been having some problems. I was on Chad Hardin's stream the other day, and his audio was like crazy.
I wonder what the futures for Twitch is. I mean,
isn't it owned by Amazon?
Yeah, but I don't think Amazon really knows what to do with it.
Yeah, Spider Punk. Golf Boy says Spider Punk next week.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that should be that should have some cool things. I still want to see the movie. I haven't had a chance to go see the movie. I probably won't be able to see the movie until July. Because I just don't have like the time. Hopefully it'll still be in theaters.
It should. It just came out.
So
I saw Dungeons and Dragons. That was funny.
Oh, was it?
Did you see it?
With Chris Pine?
Yeah. Dungeons and Dragons?
No.
It was a funny movie. It was actually pretty good. You don't need to know any of the Dungeons and Dragons lore or anything, but
Is it Dungeons
it
and
was
Dragons like the game or the video game?
yeah, like the game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So all right. So who
It was,
should we raid? Should we raid this person that's drawing Spider Gwen or promiscuous time traveler? Are you drawing or are you playing video games? Sean, Courtney, yeah, guys have any input?
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Promiscuous
follow
time
anybody
traveler.
else.
Okay, let's raid somebody. Thank you for watching today. Art?
Sketch Fighter is brought to you by NordVPN.
NordVPN. Sketchfy is brought to you
Yeah,
by
Amy.
Janoff's Stationery.
Oh yes, and our stationery. So if you're trying to ink Kirby dots, but they look more like menstruation spots, get new brushes at Janoff's. Janoff Stationery.
Oh my god. Oh, that's amazing.
Wait, what's this person's what is this person's name again? Dr. Midnight, thank you for gifting Poop Kid a sub. Where is his name? Where is his?
Riverin, but it's in Spanish.
Is it?
James Close-Up.
Okay.
Lurky Lurk says 247 comics in Genesis.
Oh, yeah, they're painting Spider Gwen. Similar pose to your shot, to your drawing, Courtney.
Oh, is it?
Okay. All right. I think we're raiding. Are we raiding? What happened to the raid?
Oh, the raid's been canceled.
It's been canceled? Why was it canceled?
I don't know. Were you denied? Did he did they ban you for some reason?
Really? It said
I don't know.
raid the night?
That's what it says.
All right, guys. Happy holidays. See you next week. Stay safe. Hope you get
Bye,
well.
everyone.
See you next Tuesday. Happy holidays.
Happy
Don't get
holidays.
COVID.
Did we raid? Did it raid?
I think so. Yep, it's going. I don't like that Spider Gwen